It's a lot of work, but most important thing is to stay focused, and this is what we're here for. Back when we were back in Columbus, you had ability, when you got off later in the night, to be able to do some of your stuff that you had to do. But when we're here, the number one most important thing is to focus on the guys and what's at hand right now. So, got some good people that are working for you back home that you can kind of not worry about that and just focus all your energy on this right here.
So you're as locked in as the players.
Got to be, and I promise that to the guys. I promise that to coach. And I promise that to myself, and that to me is the most important ththing. And that's what's hard. It's tough. You wake up at night with some things in your mind and ideas, but you just got to kind of straighten yourself out, remind you why you're here and what your objective is, and then continue to push forward.
Is it emotional or is it sentimental that this could be your final assignment in Scarlet and Gray?
Well, you feel like it's not going to be your last one, so it might be one of the easier, not easier things, but the ability to not have to worry about it and think about it a lot, because there's so much on your plate right now that you haven't thought about those things. I think one of the tougher things was just as you left before the bowl game, and you start trying to clean out some stuff and make some boxes and get rid of some of the stuff that you got or put it away, and that's when maybe it started to hit you a little bit. But me, I try not to allow myself to have those thoughts and those things, to stay focused on what it is we're doing. But it's with what's going on, it's not the easiest thing in the world.
But you don't have time to. You have such a big job ahead of you. But you've invested
That's the best thing
in
about it is
your life.
there's no time to reflect, and that people would say that might be crazy, but you've heard me say it before. Time to reflect will be later on. Maybe when you do have some of that downtime or that moment, but there's no time right now to think back, to reflect on some of those things. You got a task at hand. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You got the utmost respect for these guys, these kids, these players, Coach Meyer, my alma mater, to make sure the number most important thing is to focus on what's the task at hand.
Are you hiring the Notre Dame offensive coordinator?
I'm still focused on what's happening here in Arizona, and that's the most important thing. And those kinds of things we'll let wait until the next couple weeks and get this journey done with first.
Luke, do you take a page out of Tom Herman's book? He went through the same thing 2 years ago, getting a head coaching job, sticking around for the playoffs. Do you kind of use that?
Yeah, I mean, I talked with Tom before this kind of went down, and just to get some of his thoughts and the different things that he did and how he tried to stay focused and keep himself in line. And I think one of the number one things was to have good people around you, and that's one of the biggest things I learned 6 years ago when I was put in a situation where I had to do some different things. And some of the things I didn't do well was trust and rely on those that are around you, the ones that you can really rely on and put some more stuff on their back. So I've had the good fortune to be able to do that with some guys back home to put a lot on their plate. And Marcus Freeman and Doug Phillips are back there kind of holding the fort down, which allows me to make sure the most important thing that's at hand right now is this game. It's very difficult. Obviously, we played them, I think, 4 years ago in the Orange Bowl. Obviously similar, but different in a lot of ways. I think the number one thing is obviously Deshaun and the ability for him to make every throw, to be an incredibly balanced attack offensively, is what scares you as a defense. When people are more one-dimensional, and even obviously we didn't do a great job of it 4 years ago when we played them in the Orange Bowl, but I think they were a little bit more of a true running team. Obviously with Sammy Watkins and some of those guys, they had the ability to throw the football, but I think that the biggest difference might be the quarterback Taj as opposed to Deshaun and his ability to be a true make every throw quarterback, the guy that's going to play for a long time at the next level, a guy with his head on his shoulders to truly run the offense the way they want it run.
You've been around a lot of good defensive lines, including the one that you played on. How does this defensive line stack up? As far as, the backups like Bosa, Holmes, Landers are backups on this defensive line. How good is this defensive line?
Well, with the exception of the '96 line, it's probably the best there. Now, it's when you start to look at defensive lines, and again, last year you looked at our defensive line, and you obviously had Joey Bosa was one of those guys that just ultimately stood out and had all the attention and everything. But I think we've gotten better, and the better with the depth and the ability for 8 guys to play. And there's not a drop off. I couldn't tell you who the starting ends are, and it doesn't really matter. 2 of them might be here today, but there very well could be, Jalen Holmes and Nick Bosa, and along with Sam and Taekwon. Doesn't matter who's in the game, and the ability to get those guys in the game is more difficult for us because you want them all out there at all times. So the depth we've got the way Coach Johnson has kind of rolled those guys, his ability to have them grow throughout the entire season, keep them fresh, I think is the key to our success. I mean, there's so many. I mean, you would say, oh my goodness, sometimes you look out there and Bosa's, that 97 has flashes of what you saw last year. The expectations for him was so high, so I don't know if you have seen the growth that, what you saw from the very beginning, but there's so many guys. I mean, Jalen Holmes has come on so much, and I know that everybody had such high expectations, but from last year to where he is right now, you would have him out there in any situation. There's some inside guys. Draymond Jones, nobody knew who Draymond Jones was last year. Obviously, he was redshirted. His ability, I know he's a starter, but his ability to the growth that he's had from game one to right now, he's always had the athleticism. He's always had the ability to make some big plays. But the way he's taken on double teams and doing the things we need him to do, again, I think is the key to our success. And I think when people ask me, I think that's where it comes down to. I mean, we do what it is that we do, and they're going to do what they do. And I think the ability for us to be able to match up out there is going to be huge. I mean, I know we haven't seen a receiver crew like this all year. We've faced some good guys, and we faced some good crews. Nothing with this versatility, this size, this speed, and also with the ability to throw the ball down the field.